And the question that E.T. Templar asked was, will vampires use technology such as drones, tanks, and helicopters?
Well, mine don't. It's the vampire hunters who use the technology and who have emerged. This ancient order of Catholic monks, Mors Strigae. They've been around for 1,000 years.
Say that one more time.
Yeah.
Mors Strigae.
It's Latin, Mors Strigae, which means death to the plural striga, which is it's an early Latin word for vampire. They didn't have a word for vampire back, 1,000 years ago in Latin. So they just called them striga or strigae, plural. But these monks have returned after a big defeat in 1900. And they've returned, and they're using wooden bullets. They're flying drones with thermal image cameras.
They're using technology.
So that they can detect the below freezing vampires among the population, and then follow them to their homes, and then the next morning, come in and kill the human guardians, and then kill the vampire. So that's how they operate. So they have the human vampire hunters have the technology. The vampires themselves, I either feel that they don't need it or just not interested in it. They stick to a pretty traditional, sometimes prehistoric way of navigating the world.
Right. You survived that long without technology. Why do you need it? Okay, I could buy it. I can see why they may think that. Now, wait a second. If this Latin group or these monks are using technology like this, does that mean that this Mors Strigae, are they getting military tech? Are they members in the military and government and stuff?
Some are, presumed to be members of ex-military, but most of them, they're just, people who are looking for a cause, and I think any large organization, including a religious organization, they tend to look for people who are lost, who are looking for something to do, to believe in. And they recruit these people, and then they train them. But first, before you train them, you have to indoctrinate them. You have to find people who are willing to be indoctrinated into a mission. And that's what Mors Strigae does. And it's not a cult, so to speak. It really does. And in one chapter, you really see, when we go back to 1900, a battle between Mors Strigae and the vampires, the vampire family, including Fiona. They really do resemble a band of brothers, and that's, I think this esprit de corps, if you will, can only come from heavy indoctrination, lots of training, and a true belief in in the mission that you are trying to accomplish. In this case, exterminate the vampires.
Now, this Mors Strigae, is it based on a historical group?
No, as far as I know, I tried looking at ancient Catholic orders and I use Catholic because I know a little bit of something about having gone to Catholic school, but also it's a very old church, much older than Protestantism. And so I wanted to kind of have a group of people, church warriors, if you will, who've been around almost as long as the vampires, at least the organization, not the individuals. And so that's kind of, go ahead. You were about to ask something.
So would they be like more Catholic than Protestant?
They are Catholic. Church? They are.
Okay.
Yeah. But there were really none. I was not able to find organized, heavily indoctrinated groups of people in the Middle Ages who were dedicated to fighting what they believed were vampires. It was always just some sort of loose, we think we have a vampire here, kill it, open up the graves, put a stake through its heart, cut off its head, burn it, whatever. It was always an individual kind of like, we suspect there's a vampire in this cemetery kind of thing.
What about
we'll kill.
What about exorcisms? Were there historical groups that were dedicated to exorcisms or was it just something that was, I don't know, like a priest would do on occasion?
There is I think even today, a congregation, and I use that word organizationally, hierarchically, a group that oversees the performing of exorcisms. and it's not an organization that likes to speak to the media very often,
Okay.
or they try to keep quiet. And I guess more Strigae is sort of based a little bit on that, but take it to an extreme. Hyper secret. The Pope doesn't even know this organization exists. It's all like under one cardinal, and this thing is separately, held. The Catholic Church doesn't even, they're supposed to keep quiet, be secret, not be seen. None of this can get back to the Pope at all. He cannot look like he has an armed band of warriors out there, in the name of the church doing.
So it's really secret. Okay, and not even the Pope knows about it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it would be better for him to not know about it. He might slip up and say something on the public. Who knows? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, to what lengths do these vampire hunters go to try to take out Fiona? Yeah.
Oh, well, they have a variety of ways. After 1900, they're the last major war, if you will, where things didn't go all that well for the vampire hunters. They kind of regroup, and they just build up this technology. They raise money. There is a movement within circles in the Catholic hierarchy in Rome that they want to revive this organization. It doesn't get to the level of Pope, but there's some power. There's some power strings being pulled to revive this organization, more Strigae, and give them secret funding and give them a charter that allows them to continue their work. And so, they will go. They travel all over the world. In this story, it's from Rome to the United States, and then back to Europe when things get really tense and after a cliffhanger in the book. So,
man, they're really busy. They're really active.
They will come after you,
and
they will torture.
Scourge. Okay.
I will say that more Strigae are not above torture in obtaining information useful to their mission.
Well, say it's a pretty badass name. I mean, more Strigae.